Hey everybody, and welcome to Paper Crafting with Tammi. Thank you so much for stopping by my channel today. It is awesome to see you here. I have a great project for us today that we're going to start on in just a minute. If you haven't done it yet, take a minute and hit that big red subscribe button so you see what else I've got for you next time, and let's get started. Hey paper crafting friends, thanks for tuning in today. I am going to be making a card today that is going to feature some snowflakes. I am doing this video as part of a Team Tiny Hop. This one's called the Team Tiny Snowy Hop. So if you want to find all the videos in this series, you're going to type in hashtag Team Tiny Snowy Hop, no spaces. So I will put that in my description box if you want to just click on that. It'll connect you to a whole watch list for the whole set. So super fun. I am featuring a set today. This is a close to my heart set. It's called Elegant Snowflakes. So this one is stamps and thin cuts. I'm going to pull a sentiment from this Reindeer Crossing. This was a stamp of the month. I'm just going to use this Warm Wishes. And then I had a snowflake die. This is probably from last year, I'm guessing, but I'm not sure. I'm going to be featuring that as well. I am working on an A2 sized card today. So this card base is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And I'm going to be creating a glitter panel that's going to just frame right in the front. And I'm going to put a white panel on top of it. Okay. This is a new close to my heart color called Bluebell. It is gorgeous. Love this light blue glitter. So I'm going to go ahead and get this panel cut, and I'm going to get a white panel cut, and then I'll show you what my next steps are. Okay, I went ahead and got those card panels cut. So remember the card base, because it's an A2 size base, is 5 1/2 by 4 1/4. So I brought this in 1/4 inch on both of those measurements. So that makes it 5 1/4 by 4. And then I cut a nesting panel for the top. This one is 5 inches across and 3 3/4 inches tall. Okay. So my next step is going to be to use this snowflake die. And what I'm going to do is just cut through this white panel. And I'm going to have this centered but up towards the top. So centered side to side, but then more towards the top of the panel. I'm only cutting the white layer so that you'll be able to see through this to the glitter layer. So let me go ahead and get that done, and then I'll pop back on and show you my next step. So that's that first step. So my whole idea there was to just let that glitter shine through that die cut. So I'm happy with how that's coming so far. My next idea is to take a stamp. So this particular stamp, I've got both a stamp and a thin cut to go with this. So I want to use a paper that I can layer here. So this one's kind of a negative image. Now I'm going to go ahead and stamp and die a couple of snowflakes to go on either side of this. So that's going to be my next step. I'm actually thinking that I'm going to go ahead and just leave them white, but I'm going to stamp them in this Bluebell ink that I've got, and that should turn out really pretty. The next thing that I want to do is use this really beautiful swirl, and I'm going to put this down here near the bottom. Okay, not all the way at the bottom, but close to the bottom. And I want to freehand cut along that edge. So the goal would be to get this stamped here, and then I'm going to cut along the edge of the white so that that glitter is showing through. And I'll show you how I'm going to do that when I get to that point. But a couple more steps here. It's a pretty quick card, but I think it's going to be beautiful. So I went ahead and stamped and cut those couple of snowflakes. So I'm imagining those being somewhere on here. I do want to pop those up a little bit, and then I'm going to add some little sparkles to give those a little bit more pop. And I did want to let you know, when I went to grab that Bluebell ink, I don't have it. So apparently it was out of stock when I went to get it. So what I did use was a Tim Holtz Distress Ink. This one's called Stormy Sky, and that was a really good match for that Bluebell paper. So just in case you're wanting to make a substitution there. And I talked about just doing a little bit of fussy cutting right along the edge of this. And so that's what I was imagining, was just coming along, following that stamp line, and just giving it maybe 1/8 of an inch or so of space and just scooting along this. If you are not somebody who likes to cut, my biggest tip would just be try to use cut as far back on your scissors as you can and manipulate the paper with your free hand. Kind of let your paper, let your hand help guide and help you with the twisting. And just take it slow if that's what you need to do. So I was imagining something like that. So when I go to mount this, I'm still going to leave that 1/8 inch all the way around, but it'll be bigger down here at the bottom. And I just thought that would be a pretty touch. Okay. I did stamp that Warm Wishes, and then I'm going to go ahead and pop these up with a little bit of foam tape, and then I'm going to add some bling. So I've got some choices here for bling. I've got, these are just silver, kind of jewel dots. And then these ones are more clear, but also very sparkly. And then I've got some itty bitty ones here. They're actually called Bitty Sparkles. And I think I'm going to use some of these just maybe down on these little tiny snowflake and kind of bling up that bottom. So let me grab some foam tape, get these popped up. I'm going to get this all taped down so that we can move forward for the next steps. So I'm going to go ahead and use a combination of these silver dots and then these little itty bitty sparkles. So for these silver ones, they're a little bit larger. So I want to go ahead and use these right in these middle sections. And then I'm just going to do one at the tip of each one of these snowflake kind of branches. Other things that would work well for this would be sequins would be really beautiful. Dots of stickles would turn out really nice. So depending on what you have available, I would imagine you have something that would really work well on this. You know, Nuvo drops, so many choices for just adding a quick little dot of bling, a little bit of shine to your projects. So I do think it makes such a big difference to go back and do that bit of embellishing and just add that extra special touch. Let me get these ones in. And then what I'm going to do for the other spaces that I want to add a little bit of bling, I'm going to use those little itty bitty sparkles. And I definitely want some of those down in this lower section. These are adhesive and they're a little newer than those silver ones, so hopefully their adhesive is coming off with them. So we'll see how it looks doing some of them, and then I may go back and do all. Now on this end, there was another snowflake and it got pushed off just as far as the size. So I'm just going to add an extra little bling there. And I think I want them on all of these. So they're pretty tiny, but it's a fun little pop. Okay. So you could stop there, or you could go on and do them on you know, whatever part of this that you wanted. So I think for me, I will probably add some of these little itty bitty ones just on the points of the star, maybe one in the center, and then I'll call that done. So make sure you look in the at the end of the video for a picture. You can see what it looks like finished. But I hope you had fun creating along with me today. Don't forget to hop along to all of the videos on the hashtag Team Tiny Snowy Hop. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.